Hello everyone, I am Flankera, and today I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So last time I finished the right side of the coat, that'd be her right of course, and so now I think it is time to do the left side. Which is going to be a bit of an adventure, because half of it I can copy, but there are many layers here, so I'm gonna have to do a bit of scrolling here. That's okay, it's still easier than just remeshing the whole thing, so I'm gonna start with the coat, because the coat is one area that I know is completely symmetrical. I very deliberately kept this completely symmetrical. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start copy and pasting everything over. Yes. It's gonna get hard to keep track of where each one is. I'm gonna have to make sure to check the names before I scroll up. Another reason I was very particular on making sure that everything was named well. Maybe this one? Yeah. Because I definitely want to make sure that I'm copying everything in the right place. I'm actually going to scroll this over so I can see the names a little bit better. What was I on? Belt. This is where I have to learn how to read and talk at the same time. Really expanding my skill set today. Let's go. Unfortunately, this is pretty straightforward to do. Just kind of have to pay attention. Oops. I did not mean to click on it like that. Do I have that one? Yeah, there we go. The other upside is that I can also kind of pay attention to the... Oh, I didn't mesh that one. Okay. That makes sense, actually. Tiny little guy. Didn't really need a mesh. But yeah, a lot of the time I'm actually paying more attention to the length of the layer name as opposed to the actual text on it, so... As long as they say different lengths, I'll be able to find it really easily, but if they're all similar lengths, I'm gonna get confused very fast. The things you can do to read without reading. Loop. Okay. Yes, this is why I was really hoping to keep as much of this symmetrical as I could, because when you do that, you can just do this instead of manually meshing everything. I mean, you saw how long it took me to go through all this yesterday, right? It's like, or if you watched the last VOD, it's like, it took a while. Just because there were so many. But, here, I'm probably gonna have the entire sleeve done in under 5 minutes. And that just depends on how much I misclick, really. Or how much I have to pause to make sure I'm getting the right layer. So that is the importance of symmetry when doing stuff like this. There's no particular reason it has to be symmetrical, but it does make your life a lot easier. A lot easier. am I on here? Lost my place for a second there. So just one more little thing and it'll be all done. With the sleeve on the other side. Nice and easy. Huzzah for symmetry. Okay. So now I can minimize both of these and save myself on layer count here. Now parts of this is going to be symmetrical, but parts of it is not. Okay. While I'm here, I'm going to clip this over onto the layer that it goes on, which is here. This way it'll stop sticking out over there and bothering me. But this is one, actually, is it symmetrical? I might have moved it a little bit. Let me actually check. It might be. Okay, it is. I didn't end up changing it when I modified the collar. But this I'm pretty sure is not. But I think this I had to change, yes. It's like I probably only have to remesh the bottom. Well, no, up here it doesn't quite line up either. Okay. So yeah, that we just gotta do again. It's okay. I expected that. I was a little bit sad when I couldn't really get away with making this one symmetrical. Just due to the nature of what I had to do on the other side there. It's a bit unfortunate because it's a complicated layer that's going to move a lot. Just because it's so floppy. It'll be able to flip around a lot with physics, and that's a lot of fun, so I want to definitely make sure that it can move well. But the fact that I couldn't make it symmetrical meant that I knew that I was going to have to remesh it over here. Oh, here we go. Just go through and do it again. No big deal. Just maybe a little bit tedious. But at the very least, the sleeve is already all done. And I do have probably about half the remaining things that I'm able to just copy and paste over. So finishing the coat today should be no trouble at all. Should be able to get the back too. So slowly but surely I'm getting through all this. And eventually, there will be no things left to mesh. And I can start making things move. Whenever I want. Still just trying to get the boring parts like this. The meshing is honestly quite boring, but if I get it out of the way first, that just means it's done forever. And it's not going to be looming over me while I'm trying to do other stuff. That's why I just like to knock it out right at the beginning. I know some people like to stagger their art suffering, but I'm just like, nah. Throw it at me all at the beginning and let me be done with it forever. And then the rest can just feel great. And then I'll just have a great time for the rest. I very much like working like that when I can. Like sometimes my psyche can't handle it and I just kind of have to work with my brain a little bit, but Right now I'm doing okay. So, several days worth of meshing it is. This is what happens when you make a model with this many layers. Although I feel like 350, comparatively to what I've seen, isn't that much. Like my personal model here was actually like 600 something. But I think part of that was just because I didn't know how to cut layers very well. I ended up culling a lot of them, so I don't actually know how many ended up in the final version. Oh yeah, and of course I have a bunch of like particle effects and stuff in my eyes, so the eyes themselves were like 15 each, so to compensate for that. And my mouth. That's in there too. And this model of Shalom does not have a lot of that stuff. She is not a sparkly hand maker. Alright, so on the final stretch for going around this part. It's kind of fun talking about the origins of my model. And that was my first full body rig. I think it turned out pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with it. I have learned a lot of things since rigging this model, but I think before I do a proper version 2 or anything that I'd want to really figure out how tracking works. Because it's like I can draw the things, I can tell the program how to move the things around, but so the next step is to really understand how the facial motion capture and all that stuff works. And which parameters to map to which blend shapes and all those kinds of things. In particular, I was not very happy with my eyebrows, because I could not figure out what parameters to put those on. And it was pretty hard to find the information, because it seems like I'm not familiar with a lot of the tools that most VTubers use, because I don't use Live2D, so I don't know how VTube Studio works and all that, but it seems like it kind of maps everything out for you, and there's a lot of just standards there that are not documented anywhere that I can find. As far as I can tell, a lot of people just act like you plug it in and it just works. And at most, you just kind of gotta adjust some numbers. And this is unfortunately not how Inochi's session works. Just the tracking, or not, I guess, is it a tracking program? I don't know. The display program. I don't know how to call it. That Inochi2D models work with. Alright, I'm gonna do the interior first this time. I got this nice black line going around here. So I'm gonna make sure that can move well without getting too crunchy. So I'm just making sure those triangles are nice and straight. And that should let this seam in the coat flap here move nicely. Keep the triangles straight, avoid skewing them when you can get away with it. Sometimes you can't, but whenever you can, nice straight triangles. So we have the seam going across the top. It doesn't look like it goes across the side there. I'll check the other side once I finish going through here. No, I think this is actually okay. Yeah, you can see it continues down this way too, so we'll keep going this way too. Exactly do I want this to connect here? Probably something like that. And then these triangles are a little bit longer, but it's okay. I can make them just as straight. Like, these isosceles triangles are fine. They don't have to be, like, fully equilateral. So just get them nice and straight. Alright, and the line is there. It was hiding for a second there, but now it's back. But it looks like it's gonna go off into hiding again. I think I'll still just keep going all the way down, though. Just in case. Probably want to pull these guys a little bit closer to the edge there. There we go. Oh yeah, I'll just keep going all the way down. Probably don't need to, but it's fine. It's not that much further. So I might as well. I don't think it'll hurt anything. It'll probably make the triangles through here a little bit neater. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so the next part that I'm concerned with are going to be... Let's do this light area going across the top here first. Probably just go all the way across, just to keep the triangles neater. Although no, I guess I should just follow the shape here. Do something like this. Although, do I need to go all the way across the top there? Because I see it kind of... Yeah. There's a little divot right here. So I'll just go ahead and go across the top. That's fine. You can see there's not that much space here. So something like this should be just fine. I'm getting over to the highlight on this side. And I still... Yeah, I think I'll just go all the way across. Something like that. And then this will come down and around here. I think I want to start lining up with the triangles on this side over here. Because I can already see that this is going to go all the way down. Triangles are a little big, but I don't think I need to subdivide them further or anything. This should be just fine. Just gonna straighten those out a little bit. There, we're getting a little crooked there. There we go. Like when drawing things in nature, you never really want things to be quite this geometric and straight, but when you're telling the computer to do something, you want to be as specific and neat and organized as possible. Because computers are kind of dumb. They will do exactly what you tell them. Exactly. Doesn't matter what you intended. They will follow those instructions perfectly. Completely perfectly. Down to the semicolon. Okay. Looks like we're about to the end of that light patch here. But I think I'll still go down all the way. All the way to the tip. I'm just a little bit less concerned with what goes on down here because this area is basically completely solid black. So it's not that important. There we go. Yeah, now all the triangles down there are pretty neat. So that should give me an easier time with this big ol' highlight here. Okay, yeah, these triangles were not lining up for a second there. I think it's just because I had them a little bit crooked. So now that I've straightened them out, they're doing a bit better. There we go. But now that I think about it, I think I might actually want just another smaller group in the middle here. I'm going to focus this group mostly to be aligned with these triangles, and then I'll adjust the triangles on this side after I finish going down here. It's because the gap there is getting a little bit big, and I think I want to be able to very easily adjust that light. Over here's... like, this is technically the side that's going to be flapping around more, I think. If I'm remembering how all this is connected. But this light is just smaller and not as bright, whereas this is, like, contrasting very heavily, so I kind of want the edge to be strong there. So I'm putting in another layer of triangles to help me control it. I think this is one where I'll be very happy to have this extra layer once it actually starts moving. There's still a lot of stuff that I'm just picturing in my head while I do all this. Not much you can do about it. In order to properly do a lot of this, you just kind of have to know what you want to make things look like and what enables you to do that. I think that's part of what makes this a little bit on the harder end to learn how to do. Just with a lot of it being so intuition-based, a lot of it just being based on the accumulation of many, many tiny details. But it's very doable, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I encourage you to download my sample file here. It's the exact same file that I'm bringing right now. It's in the description of the video, so you want to try it out for yourself, go there, go download Inochi2D. You can just get the evaluation version. It's the exact same as the full version. Just accept that it has a 10-second screen, or a screen that you can't close for 10 seconds when you load it up, that says, "Hi, thank you for trying the software, consider buying it." That is the only difference between the evaluation and the paid version. You just gotta deal with 10 seconds of a screen saying, "Please give me money so I can continue working on the software." And if you're worried that's not the case, I am actually using the evaluation version, not the paid version. Because I don't have money right now. So everything you see here is something you can do with the evaluation version. I just click away the nag screen before a stream starts. That's why you never see it. Maybe I'll leave it in sometime, just so you guys can see what it looks like. But it's really not that bad. Although, no, that's hard, because OBS likes to capture Inochi's session if I don't have Inochi Creator loaded beforehand, so I guess that'd be fine. I just have to go manually switch it over. Oh yeah, it's like the software itself is free, if you want it to be. You can use my sample file. I'm pretty sure it'll still work even if you don't have Krita on your machine. And even if it doesn't, Krita is also free and open source. So you can download that too. And then you can just come on in and wriggle this alongside me. And you know, once I have this all finished, I'll probably put the model itself. Not just the INP file that you'd use in Inochi session, but the whole INX, the Inochi Creator format. for studying and whatever else you want to use it for. I'm not too bothered. You can do what you want with it. Have a good time. I think the world is better when we share what we have. And if it encourages people to actually try things and experiment with this kind of art, I think that's very worth. Alright, that's the inside done. So time to go all the way around one more time. Just one more time, brain. It's all good. Maybe just because I'm thinking about going in circles, but the song that's playing right now, has always felt very round to me. It is a round song. Kind of feels like it's spinning too. Very appropriate. Okay, right through there is... The colors were blending in with the background a bit again, so I had to really look closely to make sure that I was getting all the pixels. Not exclude any of the pixels. All have to be together inside the mesh. It's very important. Very important indeed. Sometimes I do wish this part wasn't quite so time-consuming. At some point I really do need to learn how to use the auto mesh. It's like I remember early on I was very particular about meshing everything myself because I really wanted to learn what made for good art meshes, so I tried a bunch of things in order to see which things resulted in better movement. And also read up a lot about it in Live2D tutorials, since this is fairly similar between both Inochi2D and Live2D, or at least what makes the meshes move underneath, or the art move underneath the mesh here. So I just kind of got used to doing them manually. And then I didn't like a lot of what the auto mesh made because of that. But I'd like to learn how to use the auto mesh a little bit better. I think that's going to be one of my goals for the next rig that I do, of get good with time-saving features. Just to make this meshing portion a little bit less painful for me. It's like I do feel like a lot of learning how to do something is first you just figure out how to get it done. whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes. And then after a while, you just start, optimizing, more or less. Reduce the time it takes you to do stuff. Reduce the amount of lines of code if something takes, for example. Just maybe not to the extreme. You don't need to play Pearl Golf with everything you do. But... you know, that kind of thing. Just how to keep things organized. How to go through it faster. It's even though it's not a race, it's like, I do want to be able to make more things. And in order to make things, I have to be able to finish them, so... doing it faster and just as well, that's pretty great. That means I get to make even more things. That's a good place to be. Now we're getting into territory where the colors are getting a bit similar again, so gotta pay attention. Gotta pay close attention here, just to make sure I get them all. But this looks about right. Alright! Time to clean up all the lines. That's okay. Once I have that, that's probably one of the harder meshes done here. I do still have to do the length of the coat, and I think that one might be a little bit harder. I can at least copy and paste about half of it from the other side, but that's still a lot I need to mesh. It's alright, I'll just take it one step at a time. One. Assuming my hand lets me click dots when I need to. My hand can be a bit fickle like that. Is that not one? Okay. Maybe I just misclicked. Like I said, hand does not always do what I want it to do. Sometimes it works out and I get some cool things in my drawings that I wouldn't get otherwise because my hand was just like, there should be a line here. And it just does it without me thinking about it. But other times it doesn't work so well for me. They're a wily beast. I never know what to expect. Took me a second to realize where that one was going. It was quite a journey there. Kind of amazed at the kind of little triangles that the auto triangulator does. It's the little things that the computer sees. See, this is a good example of the computer doing exactly what you tell it to do. It tries to find triangles, and it's gonna find every triangle it can. At some point, I wouldn't mind trying to understand some of the code for this. Maybe contribute, maybe not, I'm not sure, but taking a look at it sounds very interesting. A lot of what they talk about in the dev chats on the Discord channel for this still goes a bit over my head. Like, I don't think I'm a terrible coder, but I've never worked with things quite this low down, I guess you could say. Like I do game programming mostly, and web programming. And those are very much on the surface. I don't care about garbage collection or how things act on the GPU and all those things, and these are things that you have to care about in order to make something like this. Is there one there? Yes. Okay. Alright. Now, there were some triangles here that I noticed got a little bit messed up, so I'm gonna follow the path. Just go all the way down. Make sure everything's good. Yep, here they are. Here's where things start to get a little bit messed up. It's alright, I can fix it. Oh, it looks like I got them all, but I thought there was more than that. I remember down here being kind of more of a nightmare than that. But no, it looks like I got them all. Okay. Well, that's nice. Okay, got them all except that one. Okay, I'm glad that worked out then. Let me see, this one might actually be symmetrical. I know I had to change the bottom a little bit, but it doesn't cost anything to check, so let's find that layer. And we'll see if I can... Ooh, I can! Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, that's good news. Oh, that's gonna make my life so much easier. That probably means I can just copy over everything else, too. If that's the same, then everything above there should also be the same. Alright, time to scroll over. Make sure I get the right names here. Okay, this is gonna go a lot faster than I thought it was going to then. This is not the same? Did I get the wrong one? Crap. Bottom button. I guess that's just how I meshed it. Well, that makes sense, honestly. Top. Okay. Taking a second to read to make sure I got the right layer. And look at that. Just got through the rest of it like immediately. I was figuring I was gonna have to remesh that entire inner part, so oh man, I'm just in a very good mood now. Alright. So the belt is not going to be symmetrical. The coat I think I can copy at least this part. But I have to move it all. And the bottom part, I just have to do it. That's okay. This will still save a lot of time. Just not having to get this upper part here, because the upper part here is pretty detailed. Gonna have to make sure I have it all in the right place. Yeah, right about there. And then it looks like it diverges probably about here. Yeah. But still, that's an entire shoulder I don't have to mesh. So I will take it. And then I'll just adjust around here before heading down to the bottom. I guess this outer edge is a little bit different on this side. That's fine. I knew that was going to happen when I couldn't make this entire side symmetrical. A little bit unfortunate, but hey, you gotta do what's right for the art. Okay. How's this side? Just straighten things out a bit. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to pull this a little bit closer to the edge here. Some of this might just be because of how I meshed it originally, but hey, if I see things that I think should be slightly different, then I should just go ahead and fix it. Okay. Now I guess I start going down. All the way down. Oh my. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. It's below the waist, but it's also floppy. So it's a tough choice to know how detailed I should go here. Like, do I be lazy or do I embrace physics? Questions for the ages. So I'm just gonna start going around the edge first. And then I'll worry about connecting everything. I just pray that turning on the auto triangulate doesn't break anything in the middle. It's already been done. I'm gonna have to give that a good check at the end just to make sure that didn't happen. But I do still think that being able to reuse that top part is easier than just trying to remesh the entire thing from scratch. At least there I have some of the difficult parts already done. And this is probably one of the biggest layers in terms of raw size, so once that's done, that's going to be a lot done. Or so I tell my brain. Like, it's okay, brain. You will not have to mesh clothes forever. Someday you will be out of clothes to mesh. This is at least probably one of the harder parts in the entire model, so it'll be nice to have it out of the way. Everything's downhill from here. The skirt maybe being the second hardest. I imagine the shirt will probably have a lot of detailed stuff too. And I'll have to care about the shirt a bit more than the skirt, just because it's above the waist. But I don't think it'll be that bad, just because there aren't that many pieces and they aren't that big. Mainly the chest area that's going to have the most. Everything else is much smaller. It's like I think that's the area that's going to get tricky once I start moving things though, especially around the hands. Hands are actually pretty hard to move. I think they wouldn't be because they have such clear joints and stuff, but I don't know what it is. It's really hard to get natural movement in the hands. It's like when it comes to meshing, they're super easy just because they tend to be in a bunch of tiny, tiny pieces, but actually moving them, that's pretty tricky. This is where I'm starting to really feel the size of the code here. I finally got around the first edge, so now I'm going to be heading back up. So I'm at the halfway point, and that took a while. And it's okay. Need to stretch my hand a second, starting to cramp up a little from all that double clicking. There we go. A little better there. Makes me glad I got one of those mouse pads with the little gel thing that goes under your wrist. That, I think, is definitely helping keeping my wrist healthy. Kind of elevates it and makes the mouse a little bit easier to use too, so that's been nice. It's like, man, I remember where that fold is too. This one. And I'm like, oh man, I'm that far down. This layer is massive. Kind of makes me wish I cut it in half like I did on the right side. But it's okay, it's probably for the best that it's like this. But slowly but surely, I'll get up there. And I'm trying to keep the dots relatively evenly placed. But it can be a bit hard to eyeball that. I think we're finally getting up to where the belt is. Oh man. I can see the rest of the mesh up there. I can see it. We're almost reuniting. And I think I'll just go around the outside again. Let's just go round and round. Round and round, forever and ever. Okay. Time to connect all this. And then I'll worry about the interior. Man, this is a lot of ground to cover. But I'm still pretty sure I can finish that and all the belts today, just because everything else went so well. It's like it felt so good to have the sleeve and done in just like 5 minutes. Because I can just copy and paste everything over. That's given me a lot more energy for these big detailed ones that are very scary. Like, look at this. You can't blame me for being a little bit intimidated by the sheer enormity of this coat. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is the biggest layer in the entire file. Everything else is pretty small. And I mean, even the skirt only covers the lower body. This covers all the way up to the shoulders, all the way down to the ankles. It's huge. This layer is probably going to be the limiting factor in the texture atlas once everything's all done and I'm ready to export it and start testing it and all that stuff. Ew. Not even down to the bottom yet. This layer really is so huge. My youngest child has been absolutely adorable lately. He's been learning how to talk and has just been wanting to point to things and say what they are or ask what they are if he doesn't know. Like if he doesn't know what something is, he'll just point at it and go, "What?" And he really, really likes pointing out fans. Fans in particular, for whatever reason. He just loves going up to things and going, "Fan!" Even if they just look kind of like a fan or sound kind of like a fan. It's very cute. Can't get over how cute he is sometimes. He's getting pretty good too. He can very clearly say lemonade now. That's not a super easy word. And yesterday I got all the images off my phone and onto my computer. So I spent like an hour going through all of them, and they're pretty cute. I have 2 kids, and they are absolutely adorable. Alright, well, we're around the bend here. So now I just gotta go back up. Definitely takes a while to go through the entire thing here. It's like I thought that flap took a while, but this is like twice the size. Or maybe 3 times the size. Oh, it's not surprising that it takes a while. Then I'm starting to think about how I'm going to handle the inside here. I think the first thing I need to do is follow that seam down. I see that in the middle there I have a 2-row of dot structure following a seam going all the way down. So that'll probably be where I start. And then from there I guess it's just a matter of following the light. You know, same as always. Meshing doesn't change much from piece to piece. You just gotta pay attention to the parts that you want control over when it comes time for everything to move. Because this grid is how the computer knows to move the pixels underneath it. And I can see that there's another one kind of right through here. I want to put some triangles around. And yeah, I can see the seam coming down here now. So I want to be particular about that. I'll want to be particular about that. And yep, there's the upper part of the seam where it gets light and goes through that shadow. Just following it all the way up because that was the one that I remembered the most clearly. Man. This is just such a long piece. It's taking so long to go all the way around. I'm getting a little impatient by the end. Might actually stop in the middle here and go mesh a belt real quick just to make myself feel good about myself. Even though this is clearly not done. There we go. Alright, well, I've gone all the way around. Part of me wants to stop, but part of me is like, don't be a wuss brain, let's go. So I'll start here. I'm telling my brain to stop being lazy. We're going. We're gonna do the thing. Mesh the annoying layer so I never have to look at it again. Doesn't that sound good, brain? Brain, not so sure. Brain says let's get comfortable in the chair first. So I think this seam actually goes like all the way down the coat. So it's gonna take a while to get all these dots going down it. Pretty much anything that goes all the way down just takes an eternity. That's alright. It could be worse. It could be so much worse. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit tricky, because I can kind of see this light area here. I guess I should just focus on that. It's kind of transitioning from this from this dark area to this light area. And then afterwards it'll kind of transition back. But I think the important part is just keeping this line intact. The shadow areas, the shadow part of the seam doesn't really matter here, because it's just hidden. So I'm just going to focus on this part. And just keep going on down. And it looks like this stops here for a while, but yeah, I see the dark part coming back. So that'll be the part I follow next. And I just go all the way down. I have most of the character design that I was working on yesterday finished. I just kind of need to start refining things, so I don't have as much random stuff to think about today. The stuff I do need to think about isn't really the type of stuff I can think about while putting triangles on this thing and talking at the same time. Needs more focus. Deeply unfortunate. Can't just quite zone out and not worry about anything here. Okay, where does this go? I don't actually know. Let me check my PSD here, or I guess the creative file. Is that the light part? Yes. Okay. This is where a bit of perspective is helpful, but it is this inner line here. Or I guess the outer one. Whatever. My brain knows what it's talking about. Look, dyslexia is hard, man. Sometimes your brain just says the exact opposite of what you mean. And it expects everyone to know what you're talking about. So let's expand these triangles a little bit. Get all the way around that part. There we go. And then I just continue on down here. Now we're getting close to the edge here, so I'm kind of trying to line things up with the triangles in there a little bit better too, over here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I can do a little bit better than that. Let's try to keep things a little bit neater. I think that'll make my life a bit easier in the long run. Something like this, yeah. And then up here, they're getting a bit far away, so I'm not going to worry about it. But starting down here, I think, is where I can kind of start lining them up. Making them look nice. Probably save me some trouble in the long run. Being kind to future me today. Good way to be. So I guess make my life a little bit easier. I'm going to start just doing this one side at a time instead of zigzagging down. I'll line things up with the triangles on this side, and then I'll zigzag my way down on the other side. I think that's easier than trying to do both at the same time. Because, I mean, it's like I say, if you try to do too many things at once, you're just going to get overwhelmed. One thing at a time. I can only draw one dot at a time. So I'll make it count. Try to keep things as easy as I can for myself. And look at that, we're almost at the bottom. Slowly but surely we got there, and I only went slightly insane. I've always been pretty okay at handling tedious work, though. I always kind of preferred at my job when they gave me tasks that I didn't have to use my brain in, because then I'd have more brain to do stuff after work. So I'd always volunteer for the most boring, tedious stuff, and people liked me for it. Alright, now I can just very easily line up this part with the triangles on the other side and make it all nice. Oh yeah, that was a lot easier than trying to do both sides at once, I think. And now this seam will be completely coated in lovely triangles. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the back of the coat might be the largest layer. The back of the coat I don't think goes all the way up to the shoulders, but it does go pretty high. So I may not quite be able to finish that today. Sometimes I underestimate just how long it can take to draw the sheer number of dots needed to fill everything in. Because, oh boy, there's a lot of them. I mean, look at all these. I wouldn't want to count all these. It'd take forever. Okay. Now to see which area I want to do next. I guess I'll continue this line down. Looks like I just had them staggered based on this triangle, set of triangles here, so I'll keep doing that. Seems like a pretty good idea. I agree with my past self. This seems like a good way to do it. I'll just try to make them those nice isosceles triangles, even though they're much further away than the ones that I have been, I guess. English can be very awkward sometimes, can't it? I'll just keep heading on down. Let's see, it looks like they're still all okay. Yeah, there's an extra one here. Yeah, I can't really change that. There's a different number of dots on each side. I probably care more about this side, though. Which makes me think there should just be an extra one here. There we go. Something like that. And I'll just straighten out the lines there and keep going. So I don't mind if there's like an extra on that side. I'm not gonna worry about it. Alright. Now we're getting to the point where I think I care more about this side. I think I actually want it to be kind of like this. Where I have them close to over here. I'll go back and make the triangle straight. And eventually these sides will probably merge. Or maybe I'll just have the side end over here. Just kind of merge in over here and do something like this. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think that's a good idea. I already know that this one that I'm building right now is going to merge somewhere down here because the seam line is going to be in the way. So it can't even go all the way down even if I wanted it to. And I'm okay with this. I don't think I want it to go all the way down. It's nice not to have to go all the way down. Feels good. All the way down is a long way away. It's always like just when I thought I hit the bottom, I have a further to go. Okay. Let's get some around here. There we go. That should be good. Alright, so now we have that big long one done. So let's look at this seam now. This one probably has to go all the way down. not much I can do about it. And we'll coat this little seam in triangles too. Lines like this are especially important to coat in triangles because they do add... I think those little lines just make it clear the directionality and kind of shape of the coat, and when they're this thin and there's enough contrast like that, it's honestly pretty noticeable if they start getting really distorted and crunchy looking. So, I want to make sure it all looks nice. Oh man. This mesh is proving to be big enough that I might not even have time for the belts. Oh, that would be a bit unfortunate. The belts are pretty easy and small though, so maybe it'll work out in the end. I'm trying not to rush though. It's like this is the whole coat on the left side, so I don't want to skimp out in the details. I don't want to get lazy, I don't want to rush. Just gotta go. If it takes me an extra day to finish the coat, well, that's alright. It's not that big a deal. I will manage. But yeah, this is why I figured it'd take me about a week, maybe a little bit more, to do all the meshing. It's because there is... I wouldn't say there's a lot to it. Like, you can really get in and get detailed with certain areas. But most of what you have to do is pretty straightforward. But it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Most of it doesn't even require that much brain. There's just a lot of it. So you can see here that line has gone away, but there's this little light area right through here that I'm using these triangles for instead. Just because they kind of happen to coincide. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense to continue this line to cover that area. There's the bottom. I guess that should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and add another one to the bottom there, though. Okay. Now we have that. Well, this I think is fine. And then we got another little area where everything changes right over here. This is a pretty loose area, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Just enough to kind of be able to move it around. And I see it does something a little bit like this. It kind of curves over. And then I think it ends about there, where this new one begins. I'll just put a few around the folds. This one has kind of a hard edge, so I think I want to be a little bit more particular about it, so I'm going to add an inner set of triangles to it too. This will let me really control where that line goes. Same on this side. we'll follow it down, and then I'll add another set of triangles to the other side. Ooh, this one's gonna get long, I see. It looks like it stops about here. Okay. Now I just add the other side. And this will give me a lot of control over how this light area moves. I should be able to keep it very neat and make it look very nice. It shouldn't be a problem at all. And then I see there's another little highlight down here. You can see I'm getting considerably less detailed for a lot of these than I have been. I just don't think it needs to be as precise. There we go. I think that is this coat. Yes. Now I just gotta fix all the lines. Okay, stretch my hand a little bit. Alright. Let's do this. Shoot. Not that. Don't do that, please. Okay. Hooray for Control Z. Okay. Alright. And you know, I feel like I've been going clockwise too much. I'm gonna go counterclockwise this time. Just for a change of pace. Oh, I don't know where that one's going. Going all the way over there? Oh, it is. Okay. That was a sneaky one. So hopefully the lines didn't get too messed up in the top part. You can see that it's clearly not the same though, because otherwise it wouldn't be stretching all the way across like this, because there's no way I left lines like that in the original version that I copied over. So need to check to make sure that everything around here is okay still. Pretty sure this is supposed to be like that. All the other stuff looks okay, though. And lots of little lines on this one. Is that connected to? Is it all the way down there? I don't know. Okay, it's like this. No? No. Yes. Okay. Well, that one took a couple of tries. Sometimes it can get pretty hard to tell when they're, like, this close together. What the heck, man? Not there. Is it just here? Yes. Okay. getting in there so I can see a little bit better. Those guys were sneaky. They were being tricky. Oh, man. Okay, how's this gonna work? There we go. Nope, that wasn't where it was. These ones are hiding from me today. You don't want to be found and culled. Well, it sucks to be them, I suppose. Because I'll find him eventually. Eventually, sooner or later. Oh man, there's a lot of just little things down here, and I haven't even started checking all the edges yet. I think I probably will stop after this one. I can tell that I'm getting a bit tired. I'll just do the belts next time. It's no big deal. It's like I really did want to finish off the coat today, but this layer, it took probably like 40 minutes to finish, so I forgive myself. It was just a lot. I say 40 minutes like I'm done with it yet, but yeah. The fact that I'm still not even done with it yet just goes to show, yes. It was a lot. It was more than I was expecting. Very unfortunate, but it's okay. Sometimes art is like that. Should probably increase my time estimates for how long I expect these certain parts of these to take. It's like sometimes it's fine, and then sometimes you get a layer like this, and 40 minutes later you're still culling lines. There we go. But I think I've gotten most of them. We're almost all the way around. We just go round and round these things. And I cannot tell where these lines are. Most of the time I have a good sense for where these lines show up, but these ones are just eluding me today. I cannot make heads or tails of how they're connecting. Okay. Nuclear option. There we go. Now I can straighten the triangles back out. It's like, when in doubt, just move the triangles around to make it a bit more visible, and then put them back. Nope, that wasn't one. Probably like this then. Nope. Like I said, normally I have a pretty good sense for how they're connecting, but this time they're just being really tricky. Just super duper tricky. So I gotta really get in there just to see what the heck they're doing. There we go. But as always, the truth comes out eventually, and I find my way through. Okay, looks like I'm almost to the end. Then I just need to go back around and make sure all the lines are going in the right direction. But that should be comparatively easy than to trying to figure out where some of these are going. I mean, it looks like it's going there. Okay, it was just going there. But I tried that. I guess I did not. It happens. Today is one of those days where if I was going to work on this longer than the 2-hour stream, you know, the 1 to 2 hour stream, I guess I should say, that I'd probably start arming some parameters and doing some actual animating, but fortunately I'm stopping today, so my brain doesn't get to cheat. And we're just gonna go right back to meshing tomorrow. Alright, time to check all the lines. Make sure they're all going the right direction here. I don't remember there being any problems, but human memory is faulty, so I don't trust it. I go check. Oh yeah, so far not seeing anything out of the ordinary here. Doesn't mean there isn't, it's just that I don't see it. Had to think for a second there, but no, it looks like everything's going the right way. Alright, yeah, looking good. Huzzah. Probably the scariest one. Besides maybe this. How much bigger? Which of these is bigger? Oh, that's pretty big. So yeah, this one might be a little bit bigger than this. But this one will almost certainly not be as detailed. So yes, I think that's where I will end for today. Tomorrow, finishing the coat for real. In the meantime, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative works, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.